Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 20 of Birdies, Beers and Breakaways. The gang's all here. We have myself, the champion golfer of the Midwest, and we have Chase. How you guys doing tonight?
Pretty
Good. How
pretty
are you?
good. Who's the champion golfer of the
That's
Midwest?
It's
you.
you. It's a club championship prediction for 2025. I'm calling it out right now, putting the house on
That's
it.
funny. That's funny because I was talking shit to the reigning club championship, Jason Runbaum, today. Since he's defeating or playing college golf, but I told him that he doesn't stand a chance this year. So no, I told him actually. I said I'm playing pretty decent golf right now, but come that time of year, I'll suck. So
No.
we'll see.
This year's a different year for you
You think so?
in the club championship.
It's like the
Hell yeah.
first year. It's like Aubert got he was in the hunt the first year. He got his experience in at the Masters for his first time. Now he's going to come back and likely win it and or compete again in his second year. So I believe
You heard it here first, guys.
Got that dog in him.
That's Corey's prediction for the year. Oberg winning it.
Oh, I don't think Oberg wins, but I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with it. I think him winning would be fucking insane. He's one of the three people I think 3 or 4 people I'd be okay with winning.
Who are the other two? Me and Rory?
Yeah, you, Rory. I'd be okay if Scotty goes 3 in a row or 3 in 4 years. I think that'd be crazy. And then the chef himself, I think it'd be cool to see him win.
Dr. Chapinski.
Dr. Chapinski's, who putted it, by the way, but we can get into that later. And how you guys doing? How's things been? Did you guys play some golf this last weekend?
I didn't play over the weekend. I played today.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Little pre-podcast round.
I sure did. I went out to chip and putt for a little bit, and a couple buddies were out there. They're like, hey, we need one more to play a 2v2 scramble match if you want to play. And I'm like, no, I got some work to do. Or you can play. And I was like, okay. So I ended up playing. We were 3 under through 14 and then went bogey after I put one in the water on 15. So I ended up losing by a stroke.
Wow.
But
did you play 18 or 9?
We played 18.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought was that last week in the middle of the week that you went out there and played? Maybe it's a story for later in the podcast. But was that like Thursday, Friday with the dude?
Oh yeah, it was last week. That was pretty cool. So I get out there and I again didn't plan on playing. It was supposed to be raining all day, and I get out to the course and there's nobody there, and I'm like, okay, I can just go play around real quick. So I play 9 holes, but before I get my cart, go up to the first tee box, and there's a guy that had just hit, and he's like, hey man, I'm just out here having fun. If you want to play, you can play with me or go ahead of me, whatever. I don't care. And I was like, I'll just play with you, whatever. So we're playing and we get to talking. He's from not where I grew up, but where I live now. He's from that area. But I was like, well, what do you do for work? And he's like, oh, I'm a caddy. Oh, cool. Where do you caddy? Pebble Beach, Cypress Point, Spanish Bay, and what's the other one? Spyglass. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty sick. He's got some pretty cool stories of different times that all these famous people, he like caddied for the magical doctor that did Aaron Rodgers surgery on his Achilles heel, and like he's had all kinds of these famous people. He's like, you just really got to brown nose them, and then they're going out there to spend $700 for a round of golf, but they're not playing once, they're playing all week long. So if you just get good with them, and then they'll invite you to play if one of their buddies leaves early or something, and they'll cover your $700 round. He said he played there 10 times at Pebble Beach last year, 10 rounds at Pebble Beach, and he didn't pay for a single one of them. And his contract, he doesn't get playing rights. So if he plays it, he has to pay for it. So he's like, and I still got to play there 10 times and didn't pay for a single round. Like,
that's insane.
Nice.
That's pretty legit.
He's got it made.
Yeah.
How much do you think a caddy at, like, because those are like 4 prestigious golf courses. Like,
Right.
if you look up rankings, they're like way up there. You think he probably has to make a decent amount. He's not doing it all year, but like for a good majority of the
my
year he is.
understanding of caddies, I've a handful of years ago, I looked into caddying at the Golf Club of Houston. The flat rate that you have to pay when you go somewhere that has caddies, majority of it goes towards the course or the caddy system that works with the course. If the course isn't itself employing caddies, but a lot of their money is made from tips. And I think at the nicer courses, it's probably anywhere from, I would assume, $100 to $200 a person is what they probably would tip. And you think you probably get 2 rounds in a day. So if you're doing a 4-bag, you could make $200 to $800. You could walk away with almost probably $1,000. But it all depends. I think if you're carrying, if you're like, what all that.
Yeah, he mentioned that the good thing about, like, because Spanish Bay, Spyglass, and Pebble are all under the same resort technically, and they do their hiring. So they hire all their caddies. So even though they don't get playing privileges, they get paid more than most caddies get paid.
Sure.
So that's where the benefit comes there. But Cypress Point, it's like the number 2 course in the nation. Apparently, it's above Augusta.
Yeah, it's like super private.
Yeah, and he said you don't get those famous people that are. Most of the time, have just the members, and you're caddying for the members, and they request you. And so then once you kind of get it good with that, then I'm assuming they tip pretty well too if they have enough money to be at that course.
Be a member there. Yeah, for sure.
I know that's insane, but no, how'd you play, Jacob? You getting out there? Things starting to flow well this season, or I know you kind of mentioned the one day it was really windy.
That was on Friday. It was super windy. I ended up leaving after 9. I shot a 41. Was struggling, but the day before that, I shot a 38 with like a 40-foot putt on 9 to put me 2 over. So wasn't too bad about that. And then today we scrambled, so it was 2-man scramble. I wouldn't say I was majority of the shots. Him and I were pretty comparable, and we made some putts, and I mean we also left some shots out there. So, but I'm not upset with the way I'm playing, and hoping it keeps going.
Nice. That's good. Yeah, it sounds like you're getting to play a ton.
Yeah. What about you, Corey? How's golf going for you, man?
Yeah, I mean, Sunday was tried a new course. Initial response, I mean, it rained for 5-6 days in a row here in Houston, so it was really wet and swampy out there. The greens were a little left to be desired. The course I used to be a member at, the greens were, I would say, the only good part of the course. They were firm and fast. This course, I was leaving everything well short. It was a little shaggy, a little bumpy. I liked the layout. There was a lot of houses on some holes, but no, the range Saturday before the round and the range warming up, I've never felt better with my swing. And then I got on the course and got to hole 4, and it's like I lost all confidence in myself as a golfer. I think I was scared to hit a golf ball. I was scared to make a pass at it. It was just bad. I was just so mentally screwed. I don't know what it is. I think it's just I don't know if I'm even when I play shit, like my brother gets on me, my dad gets on me, he goes, "You gotta have fun." I go, I love being out here, even if I'm playing like shit. Like it sucks, but I still love playing golf. But it's not enjoyable when I'm playing like shit, but I know I'm good. So I don't know. I need to just kind of get back to my own game. I actually just ordered a kind of a goofy plastic net from Amazon, but like one I can hit foam golf balls into, just because I'm a sicko. Just grind out my swing and just get super ingrained about where my points are and everything, and just kind of drill that into my head. But I'm playing the same course again Sunday, I think, for the price point and the layout. And I know I kind of mentioned to you guys how I felt claustrophobic on the course. Well, that's because I didn't know where the golf ball was going as soon as I made contact. But there's really only a handful of holes, I think, that are pretty tight with houses. Everything else really isn't that bad. And for the price, really can't argue it, especially for membership there compared to a lot of other things. So yeah, that's where my
conditions will probably get better.
Yeah,
I feel like the conditions were probably at a bad point because, like you said, it rained a couple of days. It probably wasn't in the best shape, and once it, in a month or two, it'll probably be in its peak form, right?
Yeah, and I think like the layout was cool. Like there was a large variety of holes. Like in the old course I was a member at, a lot of all 4 par 3s, 3 of the 4 par 3s, were the exact same distance. Like they were borderline plus or minus 7 yards from each other. So it's like you're really not playing that much of a variety of par 3s. there was really only a handful of unique holes. Everything else was pretty standard. But this other course, I mean, there's a large variety. There's long par fours. There's a drivable par four. The par threes vary really in distance, in setup, in height change. The par fours, the par fives all have different looks to them. So I think it's kind of cool. Like, it was really nice to look at something different. I don't remember the last time. Well, I do remember the last time, but like very unfrequently do I play other courses than when I was a member at. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And I do agree with your brother and your dad that you need to have more fun. But
yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around that of what that.
I think you're just such a competitive and serious person just because you've played like sports at a higher level than a lot of people. So you just get down on yourself, and it's hard to have fun when you're pissed off.
Yeah, I think I've gotten past the point. It's not like I'm like mopey and pouting in the cart. I'm just like distraught and confused as to what is happening. Like, yeah, I played like with all the hockey I played in the competitive levels I played is when I get to serious, intense moments. It's just muscle memory and I know what to do. And I think that's the thing with golf is when I'm practicing like once a week, and I'm not giving myself the opportunity to kind of grind things out. So I'm just hoping it's net to just focus on my swing, because that's when I was playing well in college. As I was hitting and swinging the golf club almost every day, and so I had my routine and kind of what my feel points were ingrained into my head, and just kind of need to get back into that to hopefully get back to playing better golf.
Do you know you can hit the ball well?
Do I what?
Do you know you can hit the ball well?
I know I can hit the ball really, really well. I'm very confident. When I was making strong contact on the range prior to the round, it was fucking unreal. I've never felt like that before.
I know that was a rhetorical question because I know you know.
Yeah,
so,
I know. Sorry.
So don't get down and distraught on yourself. Just clear your head. I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But I've tried to make that almost my life motto. You know, after a good shot, after a bad shot, you just gotta do your swing again. It's just like with life. I mean,
yeah,
a good day in sales doesn't mean tomorrow's going to be good. A bad day in sales doesn't mean tomorrow's going to be bad either. So,
yeah.
You know, you just got to move on, clear your head, and do what you know you can do.
Amen to that. Well, beyond our mini therapy session with my help of my mental golf game, what the fuck are you boys drinking tonight?
Tonight I got Mahalo Pineapple Radler, made from Front Street Brewery in Davenport, Iowa. The original Iowa brew pub. It's got
That's a sweet looking can.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's a pineapple rattler.
Interesting. Somewhat local little brewery there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a touch of pineapple juice with beer taste. 1 pint, 4.6 alcohol per volume, 2 IBU. What's IBU? I don't know what that means.
IBU?
Yeah. Iowa. Yeah, I don't know. But no, that's really good. I would give it a solid 8.2.
Nice. Chase, what do you have?
Something that looks somewhat similar to my last week. If you tuned into the podcast, I had the transfusion version. This guy, which I have one on deck. 4T. It's a I think it's like an Arnold Palmer alcoholic beverage in a can. It's made for sipping, is what it says. So gluten free, always good. 7% alcohols.
Hey, I like how Chase posted that clip, and I clearly said alcohol, and Corey's over there. Oh, alcohols, yeah.
He's getting a second sip to just kind of confirm his thesis here.
It's legit, like an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
But I'm actually, I used to drink them all the time, so they're all right. I'd give it like a 6.8.
You don't like Arnold Palmer
Not as
anymore?
good as, no, not as good as a transfusion. I'm a transfusion kind of guy. It's not bad. I can see.
Piss warm.
Yeah. I've never had a piss warm one, but
That's the
Well,
best
we're-
kind
we're
of
going-
transmissions. The best
We're
kind.
going to a Good Friday golf.
I hope
Good
not.
Friday and piss warm for
And
juice.
Mr. Boston's in a
Yeah.
piss warm plastic jar.
I think 6/8 is solid, a solid rating or something like that.
Out of a 2-liter.
Out of a 2-liter, baking in the sun in the back of a golf cart for 5 hours, then drinking it. Well, I have something I've had before, because it's the first time I saw it back in stores for the season. I'm normally pretty typical with having Shiner throughout. It's a Texas brew, one of the more commercial ones. I think you guys might have it up there, but they're Shiner Shandy, lemonade shandy. Love me a good shandy now that the weather's warming up. I mean, it's just an all-around 9. It's just greatness. I mean, to me, it doesn't have as heavy a taste as Liney. I love 312 shandies a lot, but those are
You
more.
say that, I can't find them anywhere.
Really?
I can get the 312 wheat ales, but I can't find the
Huh.
shandies.
Well, the
Maybe they're
shandies
not out
I'd
yet.
say are more like juice, like less beer, like.
I don't like the Leinenkugel ones. They're too sweet.
The summer
Well, then you'd
shandies.
love the 312 shandies. Benny's in Peoria always has them.
Really?
Always, I've always bought them from there. But yeah, this is a solid 9. I love their. I saw they came out with cans this year. Normally, this has only ever come out in bottle. Now there's a 18-pack. Cans.
There we go. Here's a hot topic. Cans or bottles better?
Depends where
Bottle.
I'm drinking. Depends where I'm drinking.
Why?
If I'm doing anything in a social environment, give me a bottle. If I'm on the golf course, give me a can.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Chase, what'd you say?
I said bottle, but I don't remember the last time I had a beer in a bottle. So I guess like I just prefer. I don't know. It's really. I actually like the aluminum bottles quite a bit.
What?
Like
the
Yeah.
twist ones?
Yeah,
Like the
I
silver
like
bullets?
those.
You can taste the fucking aluminum on those
You
things.
can.
That's why I
yeah,
like
the
it, yeah.
Coors taste different in the silver bullets. That's 1,000% certain.
No,
Um,
I'm either a can or I'll take it out of a glass.
Yeah, draft is nice, but like if I'm out at the bar, I would really love if they have like Coors or whatever in bottle, or if I'm sitting outside or whatever, kind of at a event and just hanging out with people, a bottle's great. But if I'm on the golf
Oh,
course,
if I'm at a bar, it's definitely draft for me.
Mm.
I don't really like.
Well,
sorry,
if
I'm
you're in
speaking
mid-
as if I was back in college and I was buying $1.50 beer. Yeah, if I'm at a nice bar and it's like a brewery and I'm an adult, yes, it's draft if I can.
right, but like here in the Midwest, I have 2 bars in town and neither one of them offered draft.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have 3 and none of them offer draft. So, can for me at the bar. I don't know. I've always been a can guy though. Yeah.
But I saw you had the garage beers over the weekend. Did you like those?
I fucking love those. Those were so good.
Oh.
I wish I got to try the lime flavor, but it was funny when I brought them home. I showed my wife it's beer flavored beer, and she got a good chuckle out of that. So no, they were unreal. It was nice to have after doing some work outside on Friday and Saturday evening, kind of having some drinks, playing some games with the buddies. And no, they're great. Definitely will buy them again. But they would probably be unreal on the golf course.
Yeah, I bought a pack on Sunday too, and they were really good. I think that the regular ones are better than the lime flavored beer.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't had the
Yeah.
regulars yet, so.
Maybe I'll grab some. Are they around you, Chase?
Mm.
We'll
Yeah,
get some.
I had the regular in my hand when we had them
Oh,
on
okay.
the podcast, and then I was like, nah, maybe I should try the limes. So
That was me
and
too.
I still have like 6 of the limes.
Well, we ready to get into some of the real golfers?
Yeah, but before we do that, I want to talk about last week. So you know how Victor Hovland and Justin Thomas were going back and forth? Did you see that Justin Thomas went into the scores room, house, whatever, afterwards and said congratulations to Victor Hovland and like shook his hand and everything?
I didn't see that. No.
No?
I didn't see that.
Oh. I just thought that was really cool and showed good sportsmanship because we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago about guys, leaving without talking to the fans. But they showed it on TV because I watched it. Justin Thomas went in and shook Victor Hovland's hand. Was like, "Hey man, that's an awesome win. Congratulations!" Even though he just lost to him by a stroke or 2 strokes or whatever it was.
It's
But-
nice.
Yeah.
Just a little tidbit of happiness.
Yeah, I think both sides are very justified. I think beyond the fact of me being a big Rory fan. Like it was the difference between a major and some of these other events. Like I know that Arnold Palmer was a signature, and JT's been trying to fight for his first win since his last major, I think it was. I'm not a big Morikawa fan, so maybe he should have stayed and chatted. But I see both sides. I think.
No, I do too. I just thought it was just cool to see a different side of it, and not that I don't know if he talked to the media or not, but he stuck around to make sure he went and congratulated. I don't know if they're buddies. I don't know anything about them.
I think that's the best way to go about it. Like if you lose, I know Rory and Bryson probably because of the PGA Live, and like I don't know how close Colin is with Henley. I don't know how close Colin is with a lot of players on tour. But like if you congratulate the guy who won and then you don't do media, I think that's perfectly justified. I think that's 100% okay. And Colin even came out and said the following week of when he lost the Arnold Palmer of like, none of the cameras saw me. I was out there signing autographs for kids. Like you guys want to talk about how I didn't do an interview, but I was out there for an hour talking to people, taking pictures and signing stuff. It's like you just paint the picture you want to see. So everyone handles things differently.
Absolutely. But yeah, if you want to talk about the Houston Open.
Houston Open in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I ended up not going. I mean, Thursday, Friday, when I was watching on TV, there was fucking nobody there. Not a single soul looked like they were there.
Well, it rained Friday, didn't it?
It rained all the way until like Saturday morning is when I think it stopped. Or like Saturday early morning is when it stopped. But yeah, it rained from like Tuesday through Friday. And I was texting you guys and texting my buddies. I'm like, it's soaking wet here. I wouldn't be surprised if the winter's over 20 under. Because even it's supposed to dry out by the weekend, the course is still going to be damp. The Memorial Park course is pretty open. There's only 20 bunkers on the course. Not a lot of trouble. So I wasn't surprised that the winning score was way up there.
No, and I didn't watch a lot of like Thursday, Friday, but I watched quite a bit of the weekend. The rough was cut super short. Mm-hmm. So those guys, I didn't see much of anything but driver off the tee on every single par 4 and
like
par
17,
5.
The short par 4.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And they were just bombing drives, and they didn't really care where it ended up unless it was like behind a tree in a bush, because like the lie out of the rough wasn't challenging at all. They didn't have a deep lie. Like they could get solid contact. They weren't getting flyers out of the rough. So like Min Woo and some of the guys that have some more errant drives, like they didn't care because they would still be able to attack the pin or at least, get on the green if they messed up too bad. So they still had plenty of looks for birdies and pars all week, even in the rough. So
that almost screwed Min Woo Lee over on Sunday, though.
It did.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I'm sure we'll eventually get to it, but Michael Kim made a crazy comment saying that they're like going into the tournament that Rory was super favored to win because it favors his driver, and then he's like, well, it doesn't. His driver favors him when the fairways are tough to hit and he can bomb it and be accurate. Guys out here can just hit it and spray it to Narnia, like you said, Chase, and it doesn't matter because the ball is just going to be sitting up. I mean, just some of the shots, like Scotty missed the fairway on Sunday on that par 5, and he hit a 7-iron to like 20 feet. He just did a flyer out of the rough just because the ball's sitting up. Gary Woodland hit like a driving
his
iron
shot
or
was
like high iron on 18. That was insane. Insane to do. But I mean, yeah, guys were just having no penalties playing out of the rough.
Yeah, and it was on Thursday, Friday. I think it was lift, clean, and place. So they had some help there too. They didn't have to worry about some of that.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't watch much of Thursday because I was busy in the office. But I know Friday when I did have it on in the afternoon, because I got to watch majority of the afternoon because the rain delay, and it continued a little bit into Saturday. That I saw him doing lift, clean, and place. Because, I mean, down here in Houston, I mean, so close to sea level when it rains, everything just collects. Very few places have good drainage, and it just all sits on top of each other and just gets damp and muddy and soaked. So that didn't surprise me they were doing lift, clean, and place.
That course had some interesting, was it like ravines or just kind of like ditches along some of the holes? Like it just looked like a kind of a barren, like in front of the tee box on some holes. It was just kind of washed out area almost that seemed like it was on, at least the back nine, I think. So it looked like an interesting layout course, but it, like you said, it was definitely attackable this weekend with the course conditions, weather conditions. But one thing I saw on, I think it was Friday, um, this Ryo Hisatsune, I think is his name. He was in a featured group playing with somebody. I think he might have been playing with Rory or something, and or Scotty. And did you guys see his pre-putt
The
routine?
water
What he
bottle.
does?
Every time he's
Yeah.
drinking out of the water bottle while he's reading a putt. I did see that.
So he reads the putt, and then his caddy standing next to him. I heard them talking about like, oh, do you think he like if he likes the putt like while it's like online, like he swallows his water or whatever. But I was watching it, I didn't know what they were talking about, and the caddy's like this. He takes a drink and then hits his putt. It's like, what the hell?
Well,
and then
so
there's somebody on the Corn Ferry Tour or like the DP World Tour that's doing the exact same thing. I don't know if it's like a mental thing or what.
No, so I think this is like Kyle Porter. Someone reliable on Twitter was actually talking about this and got the insight about it. He holds the water in his mouth while he's like standing over the putt to feel if the water is like slanted different directions, like almost like a level. Is what they were saying he uses it as. Is so when he it's like aim point, but to a different level. It's getting out of fucking control. But that's what,
that's out of hand.
That's what they were saying. That's like what people were talking about, and that's what the Twitter sphere was speaking of, and it seemed like it was coming from pretty reliable sources. So that was kind of if that's the routine for reading a putt. We've gone way too fucking far. It needs to
you
stop.
Talk about sicko. That's beyond sicko.
It needs to fucking stop.
Better story if you told me it was like Busch Light or something in there and it was a swing fluid.
That's John Daly. John Daly will have his captain and Diet Coke on the course.
I didn't realize it was like a level that he was using. What if your head's tilted a little bit?
I don't know. That's what they were saying.
You know?
How accurate that is, I have no fucking clue. But I guess that's the only like answer I heard that makes sense.
I can see it. Oh my god.
That's way worse than aim point. That pisses me off almost. Like that's so bad that they're out there drinking water and putting it. Yeah.
That's almost as bad as the Yankees using the fucking cheater bats. No, I'm joking. I don't care about that.
Yanks fan. But yeah, Scotty is still terrifying. It's just I think it's his second place in a row at the Houston Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
He had a terrible Saturday though. So he goes out and shoots 62 on Friday, and you're like, Scotty's back. Like this is the Scotty we wanted. He's at the top of the leaderboard with Minwoo and a couple other guys that weren't super notable. So you thought maybe he'd run away with it, and he just struggled. His flat stick still seems to fail him. It looks like on.
It's either really good or it's really bad.
I think it was inconsistent. Like Friday, he gained almost 4 strokes on the putting green. Sunday, I think he was around 2.5, 3. I mean, he was rolling the rock great Friday and Sunday. I mean, you can say the same thing for Rory. Rory shot an even par 70. Then he made 3 birdies in the last 4 holes on Friday to
make the cut.
Make
on
the
cut
cut by
right?
what turned out to be 1.
Oh, okay.
He was 4 under, and then he got to 15 under. I mean, he went crazy on the weekend, but.
Yeah, Rory went 70, 66, 65, 64.
Yeah.
Scheffler went 67, 62, 69, 63. So up, down, up, down.
There was 3 62s on the weekend. There was the what guy finished?
Valimaki.
He shot
Sammy
62.
Valimaki.
Gary Woodland shot 62, and Scotty shot 62.
They both shot him on Friday or Sunday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Scotty shot his on Friday.
Yeah.
And that
was the course that tied the course record, right?
Yeah, but Scotty ties with holding.
Oh,
he shot.
So Scotty already had it.
He already had it. Was a part of it.
Oh, so it's his second time shooting it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Rory had a chance too, and then he bogeyed 18. I think he shot a 63 or 64.
Davis Thompson, the winner of the John Deere Classic from last year, had a chance to shoot it, and he had a bogey on 16 and 17 to end up shooting a 64.
Yeah,
on Saturday.
I saw him, and he was like 7 or 8 under through 11 holes. I'm like, 59 watch, and he just kind of ended up falling off.
Can I say something about him?
Yeah.
I don't like him.
Why?
I don't like his demeanor on the course at all.
It reminds me a lot of Grant Horvat.
No, because this guy has like this super like just like flat face. Like he always looks pissed off no matter what he's doing. He shot like that, he was like 8 under through whatever you said, 7 under. And he just looked pissed off the entire time. Maybe he's just locked in, but he's like his like elbows are or his shoulders are slumped all the time when he's not like putting or anything. He was main
I
coverage
get
on one of
exactly
those
what you're
days.
saying, and I agree. I know exactly what you're
I was
talking
just
about, and I
like,
agree.
dude,
He's smiling
like
in this
7 under.
picture.
Yeah,
He's
because they're telling him to smile. They're telling him to cheese right there. But
No,
if
but
they're
on
not,
Saturday he was 7 under through 11 or through 10. Then he bogeyed 11. Yeah, he was on
he
fire.
just sulked the entire time. It seemed like on the back nine, like he was just, I don't know. So I was just saying that because it drove me nuts when I was watching him on Saturday.
So speaking of individual people, I think Rory has done everything to put himself in the limelight to win the Masters. Then he comes out with a statement to take all the eyes off of him, and he doesn't come that close to the leaderboard or to the lead at the Houston Open. He finishes what was like T4, T5, where
T5.
finishes, says his elbow hurts. Looked like he was struggling with the putter, struggling with the driver. He's going to go into Augusta. I think the thing is that his in the past, he's screwed himself over on Thursdays. The one time where he shot, it was like 62 or 63 on Sunday 3 years ago with the Masters to finish T2. If he just didn't have a shit Thursday, he would have won that year. But it'll be interesting for him. But Sunday was exciting.
I don't know about the comment about his elbow.
I think it's a distraction,
because the reporter didn't come out and ask him anything like that. He just said, "Hey, my elbow hurts, and my coach is coming into town at Augusta. We're gonna, get some maintenance on the elbow, get some work in, whatever." So, yeah, I think that's what Danny Rapp said on his podcast. Was like, I think this is just trying to take all eyes and pressure off of him, like. But I also don't know if it's just setting him up like, oh, it's an excuse if he loses again. That's my elbow.
Yeah, I mean, statistically, from what I've seen, this is his best year going into the Masters to date. Strokes game wise, his second best since like 2013, 2014. He hasn't been this great since then. So a lot of eyes point to him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's second favorite to win behind Scotty. I'm pretty sure he is.
That would make sense.
So
let's see.
Exciting to see that. But before we get into what happened, so did you guys see what happened to Tony Finau?
That lip out?
No. So he had a 3-foot putt, like a 2 or 3 foot putt, and he missed it. Then he went and one hand reached on the other side of the hole to tap it in, and he
missed it.
No, he hit the ground and hit the ball. He had like a 3-inch putt, and he hit the ground, and the ball barely moved. And so he ended up 3-putting from like 2 feet.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was...
I saw that you sent that video, and I thought it was just the shitty miss on the first putt, because it was like a short putt just for that. I didn't see him do the one-handed, tap in and miss. That's brutal.
And then before we get into the battle of what turned into the Sunday afternoon, did you guys hear any of this stuff about Toasty and Minwoo Lee that kind of transpired on Sunday?
No, I know Toasty had a bad round Sunday, but I didn't know of anything transpiring between the two.
So I think it was on 12 or 8 where Minwoo Lee was under a bush and took 12 minutes deciding if he wanted to take an unplayable. And I guess it kind of roughed Toasty the wrong way. They ended up taking him like 40 minutes to play the one hole. And it seemed like Bones made a comment that it seemed like he was playing crazy fast or obnoxiously slow. And I don't know if he was trolling or trying to be an ass to Minwoo Lee about the slow play. But as the last few holes kind of winded down, it seemed like Minwoo Lee's pace really slowed down. I mean, I understand he's looking for his first tour win, but it seemed like that kind of ruffled Toasty's feathers early in the round.
He was having a shitty round. That's why. Yeah. Toasty was brutal. Like anybody, the two other guys in that final group sucked on Sunday. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And the guys in Scotty's group were ass.
Yeah, it was like they didn't perform well. So he was probably just pissed that he wasn't playing well and took it out on. Because I will say, I was watching that, you know, decision transpire on that shot, that drive that went into the bush. I think it was 8, and he took forever to even hit a shot. Like he was sitting there with his caddy for a long time, and I audibly said out loud when I was watching the coverage, I said, "Hit the damn ball," because it was taking. It seemed like it was taking forever. He made the decision to take the unplayable, and then he was just standing there over the ball, like, you know, figuring out what to hit, and it ended up just being kind of a, you know, a layup, 40 yards, 50 yards short of the green that he had a good pitch shot at, but. I could see why it would probably be frustrating if that hole took 40 minutes, but I think it was more Toasty just being pissed off that he didn't play well on Sunday.
Being a big baby. But yeah, I mean, Sunday looked like. I mean, I played Sunday morning and we were tracking the leaderboard on the front nine. My dad and I, we were out playing, and it's like Minwoo has to either struggle or someone has to go out and shoot like 62, and probably both need to happen for him to not win. And Scotty almost does it again. Yep. Gary Woodland, feel good story. He was comeback player of the year last year, I believe. Just everyone, you can see he had an insane following out on the course, especially after Full Swing Season 3. I mean, feel good story of the year. This guy was in the hunt, and it was cool to see.
Yeah. Coming back from what, a brain tumor, right?
Brain surgery.
Yeah, so it took him out for a while to remove the tumor. So yeah, cool. I've always liked Gary Woodland. I think I put money on him at one point, rooting for him in the Masters, because I've always liked following Gary Woodland. He seems like a good dude. So cool to see him in contention. Going into Sunday, I almost wanted to put a bet on one of the chasers, because the Saturday round with Akshay, you just kind of have that in the back of your mind when you're watching Minwoo Lee. It's like he's either playing super consistent golf or he's kind of spraying it everywhere. The pressure's on him. He hasn't actually been able to close out a win. And it was at moments you were like, oh shit, is he going to blow it? Because he was, like I said, he was kind of spraying it all over, even if he wasn't, you know, he was bombing his drive, and a lot of them were ending up in the rough, which is fine. But, you know, he had that instant on 8. He saved par on 8 after being in the bush and playing an unplayable. But it was a little nerve wracking watching him with the lead, with Scotty chasing him, of all people.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, yeah, his driver was all over the place, but his irons, he was hitting dart after dart after dart, and just hellacious seed after one and another, and he was putting it close and giving himself a lot of birdie looks. I mean, Rory made 8 or 9 straight threes. Scotty had 4 birdies in a row. Gary Woodland made a massive eagle putt on 15, 16. If there was a picture of the leaderboard, I think it was when Minwoo was on 12, 13, and there were still a handful of guys on the leaderboard. For some unimportant event, that was a pretty fucking stacked leaderboard. Everyone always talks about seeing these not signature events and the guys, whatever. You had Minwoo Lee, Scotty, Rory, Gary Woodland, Wyndham Clark was up there. Villamaki I think he was the only really random name you could say that was up there. It was a stacked leaderboard. And some people were even saying maybe Houston should be a Siggy event, which would be cool. But I don't think that course, unless they grew out the rough,
right,
would be a Siggy event course.
Yeah, no, I almost texted you guys at one point, look at this leaderboard. Like you said, when I saw Woodland, Scheffler, Wyndham, and Rory kind of all chasing, you're like, it was shaping up to be a good afternoon, because Minwoo came into the day with a 4-shot lead, and, you know, just played consistent, you know, golf the way you're supposed to when you have a cushion of a lead like that. So yeah, it was fun, especially when I turned on. It was probably 7 or 8 holes through Rory's round, and he was making a charge. You're like, okay, this is going to be a good little end to the round on Sunday. So Sunday was fun to watch. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Rory or Scotty had that little stretch. What was it? 13 through 16, 4 birdies. Yeah, I didn't realize that Rory had those 8 threes in a row. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, well, Rory's, I think it was his second or third three, the eagle he made. He had a
It was his fourth.
330-yard drive, 296-yard 3-wood to 6 or 8 feet
Holy
that made
fuck.
the eagle putt. It was just ridiculous numbers. Like, I saw it on Twitter, and people were like, this is not real.
Birdie, birdie, par, eagle, par, birdie, par, birdie, par.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I saw another funny stat of like all the winners of the Masters of like what start they're on versus when someone won, and it's like the 14th through 17th start of the Masters, no one's won, and Rory's on his 17th. Sergio won in his 18th start, but no one's won in those numbers, and Rory's on his 17th right now. But
Got to make some history.
I'm hoping, man.
He's also never won in April, so
he also has never won in April.
It's not looking good.
It's not looking great, but the end of the day, the fucking chef did it. I mean, 16, it looked like we might have a playoff. It might come down to the wire, and Scotty might grind back, or Gary Woodland. When he hit his shot, it like just at the end of his camera clip, you could see him club twirl that thing in his hands. I go, oh, this is gonna be a fucking dart. Because like if a pro really spins it and club twirls it, like it's gonna be fucking close. And it was 2-3 feet, because like if he jars that'd be bananas. But nope, Minwoo holds on after the crazy sprayed drive on 16. That was nuts. That was like how far like offline I was hitting fucking some tee shots. Like that was bad.
They hit the middle of the pond.
Yeah, it was. They're like that didn't even carry the corner to go drop up there. It was 100% re-tee.
Yeah, I like got up and was doing something and missed that because I was watching his putt on 16. I'm like, oh, this is got to be a par putt or like a birdie putt, and he two putted, and then it was a bogey, and I was like, oh shit, he bogeyed that hole. I didn't see his original tee shot, so I was like, oh, this is going to playoff for sure. Scotty's gonna birdie 18, and then he hit like it was like 20-30 feet. Or no, it was on the front of the green. He didn't even hit the green.
He left it like 20-30 yards short of the pin.
I was like, fuck, dude. You did not give yourself a good look to birdie this hole, to give yourself at a playoff hole, or at a playoff chance. But no, it was cool. You know, we've been talking about Minwoo Lee and wanting him to see his first win. We were rooting for him when he was in Akshay's group a couple weeks ago. So it's cool to see him pick up the win. And his theatrics on the green on 18 was just kind of fun to watch. He's definitely a good watch. He's gonna bring some electricity. He's funny. Those Australian guys just know how to make people laugh, it seems like. So the aim point shit was hilarious.
Well, and then it was cool to see his excitement and reaction. Well, first of all, a lot of people were saying it was weird for Dr. Chapinski himself to be off the green and putting it.
Yep.
But I mean, sticks it to inches, and you can see him really get excited. And then I was kind of thinking to myself when he's like getting excited, getting amped, and I'm like, well, it probably really is just a fucking tap in. Because I mean, my depth perception on TV, watching golf sometimes isn't the greatest, but I'm like, what if for whatever reason he just did all that and missed? And then he does aim point. I'm like, what if he kicked the golf ball? And it's just a whole different tournament at that point. I'm like, I get he's biting to the bit, but like I was sitting there, I'm like, hey, don't kick the golf ball, man. I'm like, don't do that. But no, it was fucking hilarious.
Cool. Yeah, the putt was nice. I thought it was a pretty challenging putt, but you heard, though, I don't remember who it was on the broadcast, was like, I think there's no doubt that he putts this. I don't think he's going to chip it. And sure enough, he pulls out the putter and sticks it to, 6 inches, whatever it was. So yeah, it was cool to see. Did you see Scotty's reaction as he was signing his scorecard?
I couldn't tell if he was laughing at the fact that he put it close and that was Scotty's third year of coming second, or he was laughing at his aim point. Everyone on Twitter,
was the aim point.
Yeah, and people on Twitter were making it out that he was laughing at his aim point, but I mean, Scotty's just consistently staying inside the top 10, top 5. I mean, he's not winning, but he's gonna keep his world number one. The only way he loses his world number one streak is Rory. I think that's the only person who's anywhere close, because Rory has 2 wins this year.
I was just looking. Rory's number 2, but number 1 in FedEx Cup.
Yeah, but how far is he back on the official world golf ranking points wise behind Scotty? That's where the question would be. Because I'm sure Scotty's 10 wins. Rory won at Quail Hollow. Did he win anywhere else last year? I don't think.
Scotty's 13.99 and Rory is 9.8.
Oh, so it's still a substantial fucking gap.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then how big is second and third?
From Rory to Xander, it's
like
9.8 to 7.9.
Wow.
So not that.
I don't know how the points work, but I know it's not a lot, and I know that's a pretty solid gap. But Rory to Scotty is pretty insane gap too. So
I'm pretty sure like when you win, it's like fractions. It's like point something. Like it
Yeah.
increases. So, yeah, that's unreal.
yeah, Scotty, if he keeps playing at this rate, for how many? What does he have to like? Is it 2 years he needs to pass Tiger's record?
I think it's longer than that, isn't it?
8.
I don't know how
Two-
long he's had it. So
That's true. It could probably 2 more consecutive years. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
probably right.
I don't know what Tiger's record of world number 1 is.
Like consecutively.
Yeah. Or like what the record is that they talk about. Is it like total weeks?
I think it's just consecutive.
683 weeks. That's
280, 281 consecutive weeks, 683 weeks at world number 1.
so 281 consecutive. So that's
5
5
years.
years. Yeah.
I don't think Scotty's touching that. I don't think there's even a remote chance.
You have guys that are holding water in their mouth to level out the putt. They're gonna take over number 1.
Oh, good fucking God. All right.
Scotty Scheffler's been world number 1 for 130 weeks.
Oh shit.
Oh.
So he's halfway there.
Oh. Maybe he's not that. Maybe
So 2.5 years.
Maybe the consecutive's not that far. I think it'd be 2.5 years. I mean, unless he gets arrested again,
150.
actually, or gets hit by a bus.
That's 148 more weeks. So yeah, pretty much 3 years.
Well, and you got to
Almost
think
3
too.
years.
Most of the year, it's
That's been since March 28 of 2022.
Wow.
Okay.
So that's been 3 years to almost the day.
Yeah, so 3 more years, pretty much.
So I
3
mean,
more years.
like, you got to
to hold
think
it.
a good portion of the year is tournaments that really don't matter. That people in the top probably 25, 40 of the world aren't playing in. And at the end of the day, too, the only person who can seemingly catch him and knock him off is Rory or Xander. So
Yeah,
he needs them to not. But like even in majors, if he just every tournament he plays in finishes T10, I don't know he ever gets out of the top position.
Because after Xander, it's Colin.
Yeah,
And Colin's not going
And
to make the move.
who's
But then
5?
after that would be Ludwig. I could see him making a jump, but he's at 5.93. Scotty's at 13.99.
I don't think it's
That's
anytime soon he's
unreal.
catching.
no,
Scotty.
no.
That's crazy.
I wonder.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
wonder
he's
what
got-
the gap was, or like what the points were when Tiger was in the official world golf ranking number 1 for that long. Like how big
Him and
his gap
Phil
was.
had to be.
Phil, because
yeah,
it was
it
like
would be-
Phil, VJ. Was Ernie up there? It was pretty sure it was Phil,
Ernie.
the early 2000s.
Yeah, you're right. VJ had that 7-8 win season, so he might have got closer that.
Yeah,
that
VJ
season.
had a big win season.
But one thing I wanted to touch on that was kind of a story that the PGA talked about this week a little bit was a couple guys trying to make their way into the Masters with this tournament.
Yep.
You know, placing top 10,
Yeah, I saw
top
those.
20. And Michael Kim was 52 and Ben Griffin was 53. Going in, you have to be top 50 to make the Masters. And Ben Griffin ended up moving up 2 spots to 51, and there was like a final putt on Sunday that Michael Kim made to put him at 50 to make the Masters.
Nice.
And Ben Griffin was essentially on the verge of tears at the end of Sunday's round, even though he wasn't playing for the win or anything. He knew that he missed out on the Masters. I don't know how this works. I don't know if he has a chance next week if he places high enough.
I don't think the rankings.
I think it was like,
I think he has to win. I think it's just like win and you're in.
gotcha. Because I know they had a segment like Ricky last week would have had to have won to make the Masters. And then there was a couple other guys. Jake Knapp had to finish top 10 or something like that to bump himself up into the top 50. So there were guys out there that necessarily weren't in contention for the win that were playing for a lot more than just some money this week. So it shows you how much it means to be in the Masters tournament. You know, when you have guys pretty much crying out there because they, missed out by one spot or whatever. So
Yeah. No, I mean, everyone dreams of playing at the Masters. So pretty cool to see Michael Kim in there. I love following him on social media. But I think that's all I got for PGA from last weekend. Do you guys have anything else from the Houston Open?
Nope.
But there was some cool Live news that came out, and I got a cool backstory. I don't know if you guys opened up the tweet and read it. Live announces their creator equivalent of what the PGA has done. They call it their duels. It's 6 teams, 2v2 scramble. Are they playing 18 holes? Are they playing 9 holes? I think it's an 18 hole actual tournament in Miami. No.
Yeah, I don't know any of the specifics on like rules details other than the teams that they unveiled. That's about it.
Yeah, some notable names on the creator side. Luke Wan, he's been making a handful of starts in the Asian Tour now. He left good. He's been playing in a couple tournaments. He's been doing not bad. George Bryan and Wesley Bryan, the Bryan Bros, both of them actually had their PGA Tour cards at one point. I believe Wesley still has his.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of a weird scenario there, and we'll get into that in a second. And then FP, Rick Shields, another couple big names. I love FP. I love Bob Does Sports. I just finished watching the second Bob Does Sports Spit and Chicklets collaboration episode. If you're a Bob Does Sports fan, go watch both of them. One's on the BDS channel, one's on the Spit and Chicklets channel. The second one, Joey Colcuts gets put into an absolute blender by a handful of hockey guys. They're chirping him nonstop, and he's just demolished.
I'm a little surprised because he's Canadian, isn't he? I thought he'd be able to take the heat a little bit.
I don't know if he was an actual hockey player, but I mean, you got professional hockey players in Biz, Witt, and Yandel, and I mean, they just
I can see Yans being a
top
tier chirper.
Time. Like one of the things was like Joey Colcuts always wears pants. I think he always wears pants, and Keith goes, where the fuck do we even buy khakis anymore? And then what did Witt say in remark to that? He made some snarky comment about it. They were shit talking about that, and then Colcuts pulled his teeth out to try and like be like, oh, I got no jibs, and they just absolutely fry him the entire time. But no, interesting thing about the Creator Classic is yesterday, the PGA, 2 days ago, the PGA Tour came out and said they are questioning, they will pressure the eligibility for all of the creators to play in any further PGA Tour Creator Classics if they play in the Live Creator Classic duels. And then no more than 24 hours later, the PGA Tour redacts their statement saying they will keep these players out of their Creator Classic because they're like, what the fuck why are we going to do that? People love these people. We're just big idiots. So it looks horrible on them. The biggest question mark is like Wesley and George Bryan. I'm like, they're playing in a Live event and they technically have PGA Tour cards. So that's the weirdest one to me.
I'm particularly curious about Wesley because George has to usually like Monday qualify or whatever, where Wesley has won a PGA Tour event and has exemptions and all of that. Yep. So I think that was the first question I fired off when I saw the Creator Classic. When you sent it out, was like, what happens to Wesley? Because you've seen all of the, obviously the backlash and the, rules and regulations about coming back to the PGA or whatever. So I was curious on if they were going to put any pressure on Wesley for doing the creator event with Liv, or if they're just hopefully maybe Wesley's positioned as it's only creator, it's only, my YouTube career that I'm focusing on, not my golf career. But I think it has potential to be more exciting than the Creator Classic because you have the team event. Like when you have Mickelson and Grant playing together, I think it was Wesley was like, my dream has always been to be a part of a team with DJ. Like, there's some banter there that just seems like it'll be more fun than watching Gabby Golf Girl fucking take 10 years
Yeah,
to make a golf shot.
I
So
think this is going to be way more exciting as a viewer standpoint, and I think the biggest winner of all of this is Grant Horvat. I mean, this is going on his YouTube channel. This is going to be
it is. I didn't realize
it's
that.
going to be broadcasted live on his YouTube domain. So he's realistically the bigger winner because, Liv gets 0 fucking views, but
He'll get the 12,000 viewers they get from Liv.
But you throw the creators that people love and notable pro golfers: Phil, DJ, Cam Smith, Sergio. I mean Bubba. I mean Bubba's not playing great, and I think I can get into Joaquin Neiman here in a second. But they're names, and people are gonna want to watch. I'm probably gonna fucking watch. I mean, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I'll watch because I love Fat Perez, and I think Phil and I think there's just going to be a lot of good banter out there because it's more of a team event where it's 2 guys playing on a team rather than, like I said, like singles. You're watching Trent shoot a 27 on a hole or whatever it was. So it's just like it's going to be a better creator. I think it's good for Liv. I think it's really good for Liv. I know you said the biggest winner is Grant, but it might be Liv to bring some eyes over to kind of what they're doing over there that maybe those guys aren't watching Liv because it's a shitty product, and maybe their creators will bring them to it. So
yeah, like I think the Creator Classic for the PGA Tour has been cool, but in reality, you had a guy with a PGA Tour card not win it. You have a guy who's a really good golfer, makes great content. I mean, it's a serious tournament. They're kind of creating this scramble. You can kind of have fun. There's a little more vibes. It's gonna be music. Like the PGA Tour, I think if they want to roll with this content thing, needs to get off their fucking high horse a little bit and let this kind of be a fun event, less of a super serious one. Like make it a scramble, make it some form of something.
Right.
I don't know.
Speaking of fun, I've do you guys have any more details on that you want to get into?
I have a couple more live points, but
you can go ahead first then.
So it's just kind of a couple hot takes. I think Joaquin Neiman falls outside the top 40 at Augusta, and I think Phil comes inside the top 10.
Ooh. Phil's always played well at Augusta.
Yep.
It's kind of like Tiger. You don't, if you have been there a lot, the experience of playing Augusta helps a lot. So I could see that. He's always played well in a lot of majors too. So, and then I think you've always been on the train of thought that you said Neiman like never finishes well at any. I
think his best major finish is like T18.
Major. Yeah. So. That'll be interesting.
Those are my 2 little takes. Sorry, Jacob.
No, you're fine. It actually segues really well with this. All right. First one's for Corey. Second one's for Chase.
Okay.
Would you rather play? Well, they're both for you guys. Would you rather play at Augusta with Corey, Rory, and Cantlay, Chase, Tiger, and Wyndham Clark, or you can pick your 3 best friends to play at Augusta with? What group you choosing?
My best friends.
Yeah, best friends.
I mean,
why?
Yeah, why?
I don't think I would choose Tiger and like that. No.
Tiger's like your favorite golfer. Wyndham's your most hated.
Yeah,
Rory's
but I
your
don't
favorite
really...
golfer.
Yeah, my favorite golfer. I mean, realistically, even though he's a bozo right now in a lot of situations, I would kill to play a round of golf with Phil Mickelson. I mean, in reality, the lefty, I grew up loving Callaway and so.
But he'd be more fun to play with than Rory. Like,
100%. I think Phil would have. I don't know if Phil's a drinker, but it'd be fun. He would talk. The entire time he would talk. Right. And I love Rory, but.
And he'd put bets on everything.
Yeah, in a tax bracket 8,000 stories above what I can afford. But no, it'd be. I think it'd be Phil, or maybe someone like Ricky. And honestly, even like I'm not a big JT or Spieth fan, but them two.
Those aren't your best friends.
Yeah, no, but I'd pick my best friends. I was, 100%.
Right,
yeah, to have that experience together would be insane.
Let's hurt some feelings. Who are you taking?
Who am I taking to go to Augusta? No, I'm gonna leave. That's a tough question.
I'm leaving that off the table here. Have you seen that? So, have you guys seen like the it comes out every year. What did you see? Scotty Scheffler's menu this go around.
Isn't it the exact same as when he won in 2022?
It's the same one. Yeah, he left off something, I think,
The sliders.
because
I
it
think
was
it
too
the sliders,
spicy.
no?
No, he left off
The
the
tortilla soup.
tortilla soup. He said it was too spicy for the old guys at the at the
Fuck,
at the
dude.
gathering of the Masters winners. They were like eating and they started fucking sweating. They were like beet red and sweating.
Yeah, I saw
thought
it's like
that was
a
funny.
cowboy steak or something, and
Yeah, it's
It looked really. I would eat
cowboy
the
steak
shit out of
is
that
like
whole
a
menu.
it's like a tomahawk. It's like a tomahawk, but not. It's
Oh,
stepped
okay.
down from a tomahawk with bone out. Like it's fucking fat steak.
It's a Texas thing, huh?
Yeah, big fella.
And
big,
then
big fella.
I've seen like some TikToks of like if you had $10 to spend at Augusta on the menu because they have like the egg salad sandwich, the pimento cheese sandwich. I'd be like, I'm just gonna rip 3 or 4 beers because they're cheap, like for $2.50, $3 a pop.
Well, do you see
For
you
my
can order
$10
the
spend.
Augusta menu to your house with the packages and stuff like that?
I did see that, but the drink I wanted to do the drink menu. They had like a drink package,
Where you
but
get
they
like
were
the
sold out.
mocktail?
Azalea, yeah, and then you could just pour some vodka into it, and then
I'm
be
sure
all
you
set.
could find
but
the recipe if you really wanted to.
That's true. That's true.
Um,
But I want to be in the master spirit for
yeah,
next week.
no, 100%.
Can't
It
wait.
was cool. They came out with the statement today that come Monday, you'll be able to get to watch basically 24/7 footage of guys on the driving range, practice green, like practice rounds. You'll get to watch Masters golf from Monday through Sunday. Don't know how I'm gonna get anything done at work next week, but we're gonna do our fucking best. And I don't know if you guys saw, but do you want to take a guess at which day is the most expensive for Masters tickets right now?
I would say Sunday, but I'm guessing it's wrong if you're
Because
questioning.
you're asking. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna be Wednesday.
Wednesday, okay. Jacob,
Sunday.
Sunday, Friday is currently the most expensive day at $2,300 a ticket. Saturday is actually the cheapest at like $1,880.
I didn't know if for some reason like Wednesday because it's the
Because of the
practice round and
par
the par
three.
3 tournament, like if it would go
Yeah.
crazy because it might be a little bit more less. Because I know the Masters are strict about no phones whatsoever or whatever. I didn't know if it was less strict on Wednesday. But I do think it's cool that they keep the concessions cheap because they make so much fucking money off the merch stands and shit like that they just still sell their food and drinks for under $5 a pop. So
Yeah. Now,
it's cool to see that.
Now, Schmitty, he has a Masters hat that he got from a vintage collection, and he agrees with me of that wearing any Masters clothes in public if you never went there is wrong. What's your thoughts?
It is.
I agree.
You guys both agree? Okay. Because he had to get me to text his wife to explain to her, like, he can't, it's just, you don't wear it out of the house. Like, it's, for a golfer, it's the holy land. And unless you've been there, you can't wear it out in public.
It's funny because I was at a Cubs game a couple years ago, and there was a dude. We were sitting in the bleachers. I don't know if either of you have sat in the bleachers at Wrigley, but they're first come, first serve, and it's just a general admission ticket. You sit wherever you want. If you get up and go get a beer and someone takes your spot, tough shit. So there's a guy 2 rows behind us, and I had a few beers, and the dude had a Masters hat on, and I looked at Kate and I said, if that fucker hasn't been to the Masters and he has that hat on, I'm gonna be pissed. He's like, I went to the Masters this year. And I was like, oh, okay.
Jeez.
So I have a coworker. He works in my territory. We work together on the same team. He always sends out gifts every Christmas. Like he sent me a Illini mug last year, and this year he sent me a sleeve of Pro V1s with the Masters logo on it, and then a Masters hat that says patron on it. And I'm like, I almost wore it today, and then I was like, nah, I won't wear it because I'll wear it next week for the podcast before the Masters. But now I feel like I can't wear it because I've
No,
never
you can
been to the
wear it. You can
Masters.
wear it at home. I think it's
Oh,
okay.
that's true. Not
it's
out.
okay
It's-
to wear it home. I think wearing out in public, you just can't do it unless you've been there. That's just. I mean, I'm glad to see that we're all on the same page. But I just think it's for a golfer, it's the holy land, and unless you've been there to actually see it, it's you're not allowed to wear the.
I don't know, but that's different for you, Chase, because you got it gifted to you, and I'm sure Schmitty was given it by a grandparent or something. But I would not buy like a Masters hat online right now. I would only buy Masters like merch from the Masters.
I feel
Oh
this.
yeah,
I
I
feel
would
the
never
same way. I
buy
would never buy
something.
it like third party or like on eBay because they all go in there and buy like a shit ton of gear and then resell it on
Sell it,
eBay
yeah.
for fucking crazy expensive. Like those. The one cool thing is like those garden gnomes that they release a new one every year of the garden gnomes. People collect those, and those are really cool. But I'm on the same page. Like I would probably go crazy if I actually were able to attend the Masters and got to go to the merch tent. I'd probably spend too much money there.
Oh, I'd
But
spend as
I
much as I
it's
physically
like
could.
yeah, I would set aside a good cash fund just for the merch tent when I went. So
Yeah, as soon as June rolls around, I'm gonna start every year put in for the draw for the tickets, and if it happens, it happens. But getting very excited for Masters Week. Very, very. I'm sad. I'm excited for next weekend. I got a bachelor trip I'm going on, but sad it's during Masters weekend, which is weird because
Oh, that sucks.
the guy's a golfer as well, so it's kind of crazy that it's going on. It's nothing too crazy. We're going like whitewater rafting one day and then going paintballing another. So hopefully we'll have some time to watch some golf. Otherwise, I don't want to be the weirdo in the corner just with my phone up next to me watching Masters all the
but
time.
it might have to happen.
But it might have to happen. So we'll see. But
If it happens, it happens.
if it happens, it happens. But that's all I got for current golf. Do you guys want to talk about next weekend, or is there anything else you guys want to finalize on?
No, I think that's
Nope.
it for current golf.
So Valero Texas Open next weekend, the second and only tournament in Texas. They don't go
Back to
Dallas.
back weeks.
They don't go to Dallas anywhere, right? No, which is
No.
weird. I'm surprised they don't have a tournament in Dallas.
Because Dallas
Wasn't the
sucks.
The Dell match play was in Austin,
the Dell match play? I was going to say the match play was in Dallas.
which sucks that tournament is gone. By the way,
Fucking love the
sucks.
Dell match play.
Yeah, I mean, this is when Akshay got into the Masters last year. He won a playoff and hurt his shoulder celebrating. Is anyone exciting playing in this tournament?
Ludwig.
That's it.
Ludwig is the opening favorite. Not a super stacked field. You have guys like, so I think I put in the show notes. Corey Connors has won this tournament twice, so I'd say he's probably a good, odds but I think he's second favorite because he's right behind Ludwig in like official world golf rankings and the FedEx Cup standings. But then you have like Ricky, Homa, Spieth. I think those guys might be fun to watch because they're trying to prove themselves this year, make their season get on a better track. So I think there's some guys out there that'll be fun to watch. But yeah, it's not a super exciting
Decent players.
field. Yeah.
You got
I think
Fowler, Fleetwood, Joel Damon, Corey's
Joel
boy.
played pretty well last week for a little
Kisner.
bit.
Yep, Kisner's playing.
You bring up
Keegan Bradley, Daniel Berger.
You bring up Corey Connors. I want to talk about another Canadian. So Adam Hadwin at the Valspar smashed the sprinkler head in rage as he was hit a bad shot and he was going to miss the cut. Paid his dues. He paid for the price of the replacement for the sprinkler system and more. He did a video and a thank you for the grounds crew at the course, and he bought them catered lunch from Chipotle for the entire team out there. So,
what a guy!
Yeah, he covered his dues of smashing the sprinkler head, and I think it was a little more, and bought the whole crew out there lunch. So, accepted the fact of what he did was wrong, but I got all the updates via his wife's Twitter that I saw, and she was funny.
She's funny. She was talking a bunch of shit when he got tackled and stuff. She's kind of a good follow. She's always talking
hilarious.
shit.
She shit talks him, and it's kind of all this other stuff. And it kind of leads me into a fun thing when I was talking with my wife when I was watching the Houston Open, and she's like, "So what? Are they staying in like the Four Seasons and like these bougie hotels in Houston?" I'm like, "No, a lot of these guys actually stay in Airbnbs." And sometimes they'll all stay together. Like the Canadians will all stay together a lot of times at big Airbnbs and that kind of stuff, just because they want to have their own kitchen, their own space to cook, and kind of a place to wind down that's not a hotel. But no, Houston's going to get crazy next year. We have the World Cup of Soccer coming here next year, so That'll be
Oh, really?
2026
The World Cup's going to Houston?
Yep.
Damn, that's sick.
But the World Baseball Classic for the North American division is coming to Houston as well.
Damn, that'll be sick.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna try and get tickets for that. So.
No, it's funny you say that. Do you remember the story last year from the John Deere Classic, where like the last 4 winners of the John Deere
Stayed
Classic stayed at the same house?
Yeah.
But no, I think that's all I have for golf coming up. Actually, there is one more thing. We get a little precursor to Augusta this weekend. Women's AM is playing at Augusta. I think it's really cool that the women are getting a chance to play at Augusta. I think it's cool. It's the amateurs. I wish it was the pros. Some of the girls are playing really fucking good right now. Nelly Corder's getting in her swing again. Brooke Henderson's playing well. Charlie Hall said she's quitting smoking cigarettes and vaping.
What?
And she was in the top 5 of tournament last weekend. I think it's major weekend for them this weekend or next weekend. But
yeah, she made a bet with someone like, if you see me with a cigarette or something, I'll give you was it a percentage of her winnings or something
grand.
like that?
It was 10
Oh,
grand.
10 grand.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I saw Nelly was up at the top of the leaderboard in contention anytime they cut to coverage or they talked about other golf events during the Valspar. We saw them, or the Houston Open, whatever, that they were talking about Nelly Corda being up at the top. So.
Yep. But I think that is everything I have for golf. Anything else from you guys?
No, I don't think so. What do you want to get into next? Opening weekend?
Yeah, opening weekend for baseball. We're just, about a weekend now? Just under a weekend now?
Just under.
4 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not including the Tokyo series.
How's your teams doing?
Cubs fucking suck. No, I'm just kidding. They're up 4-0 right now. Bullpen
really?
needs work, but yeah.
It's 162
Has
fucking
Pete Crow
games.
Armstrong had a hit yet?
Yes.
PCA? Yeah, I think so.
I'm talking about this
on...
game.
Oh, today?
He's
I
had
don't
a
know.
cannon of an arm, but he's been struggling at the plate.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure. I think in the second game against the D-backs he did. But I think the biggest story coming out of the MLB so far,
No hits.
the torpedo bats, or that's what they're deeming them. I saw the funny statement was, we're putting more wood where the ball makes contact with the bat. I'm like, wow, what a fucking philosophy. Put more stuff to help the ball go far in the spot where you hit the ball. Like, what? And they were making comments, this guy's a astrophysicist, whatever the fuck, from MIT. I'm like, some guy from MIT just said, put more stuff where we hit the ball with the stuff. Wow, what a fucking Einstein guy. But are they banned or what?
No, they've been approved by the MLB. Players have used them since last year. That just and it got blown up because the Yankees have a couple players using them. And Judge hit 3 home runs on Sunday.
Yeah,
Saturday?
20 runs that game. So,
And Judge had 3 bombs, and he wasn't using the fucking torpedo bat. So, what's the issue?
Yeah, I'm not sure which 2 of the lineup are using them, but I don't think it's any guys that are like playing insanely well. Like last game,
I think
obviously,
it was Volpe's hit one.
Yeah, he's had a home run.
He had 2.
Everybody on that team's had a home run at this point. They had more home runs in the opening inning than anybody else combined in the MLB. So, obviously the Yankees are the most hated. They're the biggest team. They're the most hated team. So I think it's just like the spotlight of obviously they're opening up and playing super well. Their last 2 games they've hit 30 or they've had 32 runs, which is unheard of. I feel bad for was it Nestor? Is it Cortez? What's his last name?
Cortez, yeah.
Yeah. He's the Yankees pitcher last year, and then he comes and plays for the Brewers, and 3 pitches, 3 home runs. Like, that's got to fucking sting a little bit. But yeah, I don't think the bat situation is a big deal. If it's approved by the MLB, if they weren't the ones to come up with it and people were using it last year, it's just people that hate the Yankees that think they're cheating. So
yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
I've watched a lot more baseball already this year than I have all of last year.
I've been trying to watch every Cubs game that I can. That's been my goal because 162 games, 37 teams. Not going to watch every single game. If there's a nationally televised game and I don't have anything else to watch, but I've been watching a fuck ton of college hockey. College hockey has been
College hockey's crazy.
been fucking insane. I mean, Penn State's their first time making to the Frozen Four, and
Yep.
they've only been a Division One hockey program for 15 years. They were actually a Division One club hockey team. It was 2012, 2010. They made the jump up to NCAA Division One. This is their first time going to the Frozen Four. It's Western Michigan's first time going to the Frozen Four in I think ever. So a lot of
I love seeing new
teams.
names because it's usually like BU and fucking some Minnesota teams.
Yeah,
and
well, Minnesota got stunned by UMass in overtime.
Yeah,
Cornell stunned Michigan State with like 8 seconds left. Michigan State was number 2 in the country. BC over the last, I think it was it 2 years? Yeah, over the last 2 years, they were like 64, 19, and 7. They have 1 Big East championship, 0 Beanpot wins, and 0 Frozen Four appearances. And they've been the best team in college hockey in the last 2-3 years. And haven't made it to the Frozen Four one time, haven't won the Beanpot. The Beanpot's the tournament with all the mass teams, the BU, BC, Northwestern, and
UMass.
No, it's not UMass. Fuck, it's
Boston College.
Yeah, BC, BU, Northeastern, and fuck, I can't think of the fourth one. Yeah, no, it's been insane.
And most of those games are overtime games, right? Or double overtime games.
OT. Like, Penn State won an OT. Western Michigan beat Minnesota State in double OT. Cornell won it with 8 seconds left in the third over Michigan State. BU won an OT over UMass. A lot of overtime games. So it's been electric.
Harvard's the other one.
Yep, that's the other mass school. It's been insane to watch.
Yeah, the Frozen Four looks cool. Like I said, I think it's cool to see some new faces in it because you see like the normal, you've got Minnesota State, you've got Minnesota, you've got Denver, you've got Boston, you've got those like Northeasterns usually in it. They're all kind of in the Frozen Four hunt. So it's cool. I watched the end of the Penn State game and was keeping an eye on the Minnesota game since I lived in Minnesota for a while and kind of root for them just half-assed. But it's cool to see the Frozen Four. A lot of those games are overtime games, so they were super competitive. I saw somebody tried to do a Michigan and got fucking laid out. Did you see that highlight? That was crazy.
Game. That was awesome. Another thing too is when Denver beat BC to send them home, and for Denver to go to the Frozen Four. Zeev Buyem, who's a Minnesota Wild draft pick, he's just been insane. He has back-to-back World Junior gold medals. He won the NCAA Division I championship last year. Denver looks to be on track. They're the favorites right now to win the Frozen Four. But after he scored the empty net goal to seal the deal against BC, when he goes down the line on the DU bench, he skates by the BC bench and gives him the good old sign-off as right in front of their bench. I was like, that was fucking cold. So that was cool. I fucking love college hockey. I think it's awesome. And
I think he's going to be fucking nasty.
He's
going to
be
NHL.
Insane. Minnesota's decor is going to be nuts.
And he got what, 8th? He was like 8th overall. Like he was.
I thought he was considered like 14th.
Yeah, something like that. He was considered a steal in the draft, and he looks fucking nuts.
Yeah, and a quote came out is when he got drafted by Minnesota, he went up to their GM and it's like, "You just had the biggest steal of the draft." Said it to the GM's face.
Nice.
I mean, that kid's a dog, but no.
Yeah, so one thing that came out of that for the Blues at least is because Minnesota lost, we got Snuggerud.
Yep.
They signed him to a 3-year entry-level contract, which I was really scared because it was his last year where he could sign his entry-level contract and not go UFA or whatever it was because he wouldn't sign his entry-level deal. So we secured him. He's on the ice practicing with the guys, so it looks like he might play his first ever game against
Detroit.
Yeah, against your Detroit Red Wings.
My other buddy, who's a Blues fan, is concerned that the Wings are going to derail the Blues of their heater streak.
It could be.
You guys need to go like 4-3 in the last 7 games to make the playoffs, right? It doesn't have to.
So we have a 5-point cushion on Vancouver, and they're 2 games. So we have, for some reason, we've played way more games than Calgary and Vancouver. So to get into a little bit of hockey talk, they've got Calgary has 3 games in hand, Vancouver has 2, but we're up 5 points on Vancouver, up 6 on Calgary. So it'll be interesting, but we're tied for first with the Wild now. The Wild have sucked because they don't have Eriksson Ek or Kaprizov. So we're actually tied. We're tied for first in the wild card race. So I think we have a better chance of making
as of right now, you're 1 point behind.
88 to 87. Went to overtime
88
tonight?
to 87. Yep.
Minnesota was losing. They went to overtime.
88 87.
But it's okay. So I think we should be good, hopefully, because we're 5 points up on Vancouver. I think Calgary's losing to the Oilers right now, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, the Avalanche.
It's 2-2.
They were down. Oh, fuck. Dude, the Avalanche were winning 2-0. Shit.
So
all right.
in other hockey words, on the other side of the conference, no one on the East wants to win except Ottawa. Everyone who wants to try and fight for that second wildcard spot keeps fucking losing. In the last 10 games, I mean, it's just been awful. Montreal 4-3-3, Detroit 4-6-0. Let's see, yeah. New York below 500, Columbus 3-6-1, the Islanders 3-4-3. I mean, it's like Pittsburgh. I don't think they're technically eliminated yet. They're not, but I mean, it's just crazy. Between Pittsburgh at 71 points and Montreal at 77, there's like 6 or 7 teams fighting for that last wild card spot. It's just a clown show. No one wants to win. If some team was just winning most of their games, like being above 500, it would be secured. But no one wants to fucking do that, including my Wings. So it's really fucking annoying. But it's going to be an exciting push at the end of the season. And hopefully I'm not standing up on my TV screaming, hoping that we score and win in regulation.
Last year
in Philly.
was crazy.
I was home by myself, and I was running around like they won the fucking Stanley Cup when we scored. Flip the channel, and then fucking Torts pulls the goalie. Fuck.
Those last 2 games were fucking nuts. Those overtime wins are like last second goals. But no, the wild card race is exciting. You've got Ovi watch. He's got 5 left to beat Gretzky's record.
Yeah.
And then you got the Jacobs Blackhawks down there in the last place. So
Sid broke Gretzky's record.
I saw that. Yeah.
I thought the Sharks were below.
They're probably last, but.
Well, the Hawks signed 2 college guys. Gonna make a jump in the lineup. The Hawks are like significantly the youngest team in the NHL.
Significantly the worst too.
I just pray and hope you guys get Bedard some help. I mean, I think I tell all my Hawks fans that this year isn't the year you want number 1. I think it's really top heavy. Like there's a good 3 to 5 guys who are all really, really good players. That you can get any of them. And then next year is the one you want number 1. Gavin McKenna is one of the top 3 scorers in the CHL. And he still has another year to play there. He's not draft eligible this year. So next year you want the number 1 pick and you want Gavin McKenna. So
they'll probably have number 1 this year and next year.
You can't do that. You can't go back to back. It's an NHL rule. You're protected.
Yeah, that's because it's because the Oilers fucking tanked for 5 years in a row.
Yeah, the Oilers
and they got
for
Taylor
a long
Hall
time, and they got multiple number 1s, and they still never kept all of them.
I've not really been an NHL fan, and now I hate him even more. It goes Caleb Williams, NHL.
Oh, wow.
Luka.
Yeah,
you're all the way at the bottom.
We're gonna have problems.
We're gonna have to take the breakaways out of this podcast name here.
Yeah. Or we'll just take Jacob out of the podcast with that statement.
We're gonna make the breakaways basketball breakaways.
Fuck no.
Hey, Morez Johnson and Trey White gone.
Fuck the NIL.
I don't know what you guys
I have harsh words against the NIL. We talked about the NIL being so. I think Jacob, you talked about the NIL like creating a little bit more like
I tried to justify it being not as bad as
Yeah,
everybody
I
makes
think
it
you
sound
tried
to
to
be.
justify it, and then everything that happened this week told
Just
you that you were
It's a
fucking
joke. It's a
wrong.
fucking joke. It's like other sports. People are signing money deals like softball, hockey, track and field, like other shit. They're getting some extra money, great. But for football and basketball, it's a fucking joke.
well, like just an example. I like Oregon. I wouldn't say they're my favorite team, but I like to follow them. Nike's CEO
Blank check.
went to Oregon. Yeah, he essentially said, "Do whatever it takes to be the best team in the nation. Here you go.
Blank check. Yeah, I mean, like to me,
And
that's
If
then
you need to
it's
offer
Georgia,
someone, however much money, do it."
it's
yeah,
not a college sport. Like, stop calling it college sports. Just call it semi-professional football, semi-professional basketball. Like,
It's not even
no,
semi-professional. It's professional.
well, you can't call it that. No one gives a fuck about the G League. The USFL is going on right now, and I saw a clip of destroying the Instagram guy kick a field goal like
shanking one.
6,000 yards left. Wasn't
Yeah.
even fucking remotely close to the field goal. So just make college sports. Let them play until they're 25. Who gives a shit? Like, have it be
They
some.
do.
I know they do now, but make it be legal. Let them play 7 years. Who gives a shit? Like, otherwise, if you
They
keep trying
will.
to beat around the bush right now, the rich are going to get richer. It's going to be the top schools all the time.
Because now you can go to a JUCO for 2 years and, just essentially play 2 more years of high school is what it's going to turn into,
Yeah.
and then go play 4 years at a university.
Yeah, I think it's a shame because you look at I saw a TikTok or an Instagram reel or something of like they showed the starting rosters for the Sweet 16 teams, and they showed their original school
And there's only
and
like
where they
two schools
started.
where it was like
There was
majority.
only two schools with 5 or 4 players that had committed, signed, and only played with that single college. And then you posted like the age of the Auburn Tigers right now. They're all like 25, 24,
They're my
whatever.
age. Yeah, they're
They're
22 to
old.
26.
They're super veteran rosters for a college team, and they've been on 2, 3 college teams. Like you've got guys that are transferring every season to chase the NIL bag or whatever it may be, more playing
Right.
time. So it's just to have 4 number 1 seeds, I think proves the point that NIL, no matter what, is like it's creating a little bit more of a gap than we want to think, because I know it's happened in the past with 4 1 seeds, but it just seems
It's
like
only happened one
there's a
other time.
reason.
One other time in
This is the
2008.
second
That's
time
it.
that it's ever
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
That's
think
it.
it just points to, and not even that it's 4 1 seeds, but it was all 2 and 3 seeds after that in the Elite Eight. There wasn't maybe a 6 seed. I don't know.
No,
Ole
it was
Miss.
2 and 3.
It was
Ole
all
Miss
2 and
Sweet
3s, I
16
think.
lost,
So
I thought.
You need
Texas
to
Tech
have
was a 3 seed. So
you need to have one or the other. You can't have the transfer portal and NIL. You need to, if you want to have the NIL deals, fine, have them.
But you got to stay where you're signing that shit.
Right. Or go back to the years of if you transfer, you have to take a year off.
I mean, if they
Yeah.
want to collect the bag, make it like a pro contract. You're stuck here X amount of years.
yeah, I think there's got to be something that prevents, because I'll be honest, I know you brought it up as kind of the leading subject of Merez Johnson and Trey White leaving Illinois. Plus you've got Kerry, what was that?
Carpenter. No, that's a
Kerry
baseball
Booth.
player.
Kerry Booth or something like that, I think was his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Who got no playing time. They all leave, and Merez Johnson was one of our highest prospects ever, or whatever, recruits, and he signed as a sophomore or junior.
Sophomore
So
in
he's
high school. He was a
Sophomore, so he's
sophomore in high
been
school,
waiting
yeah.
to come to Illinois. He has a good season, like it wasn't bad. Obviously he got a little bit less playing time over
Avicic.
Ivicic, but it's just like it doesn't make me want to watch Illinois basketball, because next year I'm gonna have to figure out who these players are, where they came
Right.
from. Like
It took me half a year to figure out who these guys were. Half the
Exactly.
season. And
So you won't
now
have
they're
guys
gone.
like
Because
you
Will
won't guys-
Riley is projected a first
Yeah,
rounder.
he's-
Fucking KJ's projected a first rounder. So those two are gone. You got the two that we just talked about that are for sure gone. And then I guarantee, I can't remember his name, but whoever redshirted right at the beginning of the season, he'll be gone. He was the only
Yeah.
returning.
I can't. think of
Gibbs
his name.
Lawhorn might come back.
Yeah, it's just it makes it harder to be able to root for Illinois when like you don't have guys like Brandon Paul or, some of the cool guys that like played 4 years of Illinois basketball
Right.
that you are a
You don't
fan
have
of.
a
Yeah,
you don't have a Trent Frazier that sucks as a freshman and turns
exactly.
out to be one of the best
Yeah.
players in the nation his senior year. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
it sucks to be a college sports fan and like have to figure out who you're rooting for the next year. You like a couple years ago, you knew which guys were returning. You had an older roster. Now we're just cycling in freshmen that don't have experience. They don't have any team camaraderie. Like they're just like
right.
that. The beginning of the season for Illinois is like what's
Rough.
their identity? Who the fuck are
Right.
they? How are they playing basketball? And now they're gonna have to start it over next year. Underwood has to start a whole new roster. So it's just the NIL kind of sucks.
It's definitely changing the sport in a way that I don't like. So, and obviously it's not all up to me, but
Yeah.
shit
Hopefully,
sucks.
hopefully they can make some like at least some adjustments to. I don't know if the word's penalize, but like give the guys a little bit more thought on like should I leave this program and is it worth the extra $100,000, $200,000, whatever it may be? Because I think Illinois is some of the best proof of like it's not always greener on the other side. You've got
Right.
Coleman Hawkins chased a bag. He didn't. Kansas State didn't make the tournament. They barely went 500. He's crying in a press conference, at the end of the at the end of the was it Big 12 tournament, whatever it was,
Yeah.
So it's like, is it really worth the change? I don't know. Like obviously playing time's a huge factor. So, if they're
Right.
if they're promising him extra money and more playing time, I can understand that, but there's got to be like you said, a year penalty or sign a contract for at least 2 years to keep them from just bailing after their freshman year because they didn't get enough playing time or they think they're going to be able to do better elsewhere. So
Right.
Well,
And do you think basketball should go to where they have to play more than 1 year to get drafted too? Because basketball is one of the only sports that you only have to play 1 year in college or other realm and then can get drafted.
yeah, because I know football you have to at least I think it's like junior. You can't even leave
Yeah.
as a sophomore in football. So there's a little bit more of like the ability to stick around.
I
I
mean,
don't know. They've
basketball and
always
football are
had that.
completely different than hockey and baseball.
Baseball, you have to be at least a sophomore too.
Okay,
I don't
well,
know about
hockey in the NHL draft is as soon as you turn 18, it's like 18 and a little bit into 19. That's your draft year. After that, it's you have to sign as a free agency. You can't declare for the
Well,
draft.
that's true.
Hockey's is age specific. It doesn't matter where you're playing or what it is. It's as soon as you have like 18-month window or like 24
Yeah,
month
but I
window.
think hockey's different because once you get drafted, and same with baseball, right? I think because you can be drafted out of high school in baseball, right? But you have to go to like a
You
pro
can't go play
team.
college after you get drafted. If you accept the draft, you have to go play in their farm program.
Oh,
though.
okay.
Oh no, if you get drafted, if say you get drafted first overall by the Rockies, which nobody's going to turn on the first overall draft pick, and you don't want to go play for the Rockies, you don't have to sign the contract.
Yeah,
You can say nope. I'm going to I'm going to college, and I think once you commit to college, you have to play 2 years. Like once you start, and then you don't then go to the Rockies. You have to get redrafted. So then you risk not getting drafted.
See, so hockey, like I think the most recent one was Cutter Gauthier. He was drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers. He played his 3 years at college, and after that 3 years, he was able to. He didn't have to re-sign with the team, and he ended up getting traded with Winnipeg for. Chase, help me out. Do you remember who it was?
No, it was one of their. Was it Savoy or was that the Oilers?
The Oilers. It was Cutter Gauthier traded with someone in Winnipeg or Pittsburgh, one of the two, and then he was getting shit talked, but he basically refused to play for that team. So he had to play 3 years at college, and he didn't get to sign his entry level deal. He just had to miss that, so a team had to kind of gamble on paying him a real contract and that kind of stuff. But it's very uncommon in hockey for those kind of things. That's where I feel like it's just different.
And you kind of said that too, Chase. Like the guy that just came to the Blues, that played
Yeah, we
for
were
Minnesota,
scared we were
right?
going to lose him. Yeah,
because he was at the
because
end
he
of the
was
3
coming up on
years.
the 3 years. So we were like, shit, if he doesn't sign now, he can pull the same thing. And we lose out on an 8th overall pick
Mm-hmm.
because he decided to play 3 years of college hockey and then didn't want to play with the Blues, so decided to use that in his favor to get traded. So yeah, I mean, I know everybody has a different, every league has a different like draft scenario, but it would be kind of nice to see. I was looking at the NBA draft. The top like 10 to 15 picks are all freshmen. Every single
Hmm.
one of them are freshmen or international. Until you get to like the 20th pick or something like that is where you find like a sophomore or junior. So
So
all these
question,
guys are freshmen.
you guys are way better ball knowers than me. Um, why would a guy not go get better exposure or like better playing time, kind of doing what like Austin Matthews did of spend a year playing pro overseas versus playing college basketball? Why would that not just be the move?
It's better than overseas basketball.
Really?
Overseas basketball
Oh
is
yeah.
where the guys that don't make it go. Yeah.
But isn't that where like as much as you hate him, like Luka and Jokic came from there? I mean, that guy's a
Yeah, but they're playing. But
They're playing as
Luca
a
played
kid.
as a 16-year-old playing with grown ass men dominating the
Yeah.
league, and then they go to the NBA draft. So
Gotcha.
it's like, and KJ, the guy on Illinois that I don't think is a top 10 draft pick, was kind of the same as Luca. Like in Lithuania, he played as a 16 or 17-year-old in the professional leagues, and then transferred to Division One NCAA
Sure.
basketball so
You
he
could
could play against better.
you could take any of the 4 teams that are in the Final Four and probably beat damn near any team that's over in overseas
Well,
basketball.
Houston, half of their team could probably play for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. That's the joke I've been seeing going on Twitter, that Houston plays
Yeah.
basketball like they're offensive. They're a bunch of middle linebackers. But yeah, I mean, my little spiel about college basketball, as someone who loves March Madness for the madness, sucks for what the Final Four is. But from what I've heard of old head college basketball guys, of seeing the Final Four be what it is, it's just like the 4 best college basketball teams going against each other. It's good for the game, so I guess it is what it is. Probably not going to watch, but no, it's cool.
Yeah, no, it wasn't much madness, but we don't need to get into the details on that. So
Yeah.
But should we go over? Well, we can go over half the predictions from last week, or do you just want to save them all for next week?
let's go over half of them.
Okay. Jacob, you want to run us through?
Sure. So the reason we can't go through all of them is we are recording a day early, and normally we record on a Tuesday. It's Monday. I had done how many wins will be by an MLB team from last Thursday, because that's when games started, till Tuesday. It's obviously Monday, so the Tuesday games haven't finished. And then who would win the Houston Open, Final Four predictions, and then who would hit the most home runs or the number of most home runs. And we don't know that yet because it's not Tuesday yet either. So we can't predict the first or the last one. I picked Rory to win the Houston Open. He finished T5, so I believe that wins me a point. And then for my Final Four, I had Duke, Maryland, Auburn, and Tennessee. I got Duke and Auburn correct, so that would be 2 points for me. So I got a total of 3 points so far this week.
Nice. I chose for the winner of the Houston Open. I chose Jake Knapp, which I was thinking on Sunday he had a chance to maybe get me at least a point for being the best result, but he fell apart. And then I did get 3 out of the 4 on the Final Four. I had Auburn, Duke, and Houston. The only one that didn't make it out of my group was Texas Tech. So I secured. Do I get 3 points? 1 for each team. So
Yep.
I got 3 points there for those.
Nice.
Yeah, no, Michael Kim was T31. And then I just rode with what my Final Four was, and I only got the singular point from, I believe it was Florida, making the Final Four. But we'll tally those points up once everything comes in. But I had the questions for us this week. So the predictions that I'm going to ask from you guys this week is: what is the final score at the Women's Am at Augusta this weekend? What is the highest temperature Saturday in Stockholm, Sweden? The total runs scored in all games on Saturday in the MLB, and the combined score of all 1 seeds in the Final Four college basketball game winners.
What's the reasoning for the Sweden?
I don't know, something not sports.
Oh, okay.
So combined score of all winners. So
the winning 2 teams.
So okay, so Duke wins, and Florida wins. You're wanting the combines.
The combined score of the 2 teams.
And then, not to be an asshole who asks a lot of questions, but do the women play 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds?
Last year was 3 rounds.
So they play to make a cut and then play the last round? Yeah,
last year was 3 rounds. I believe it's only 3 rounds because Rose Zhang won in 23. And then the winner in 24 was Lottie Wode.
Lottie Wode. It's a hell of a name.
And we're going to do the reading in Fahrenheit just to keep it easy for you guys.
Keep it easy for us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
How many games are on Saturday? Shoot. I don't know.
15.
15?
All 30 teams play.
That's what I thought.
The Augusta Amateur, they play at some other course on the first day, right? And then they go to Augusta.
I'm not sure.
I just don't know. I don't know how I'm gauging this at all on that one, so I'll just put.
Just take a guess. Gabby's playing in it this year.
All right, I'm good.
Are we sending it in the group chat?
Yep, we can do that just to lock it in.
Fuck, dude.
Wow. Think it'll be that cold, eh?
Yeah, I don't think it gets very warm yet this time of year, does it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's April. I feel like it's got to get a little warmer.
I'm pretty sure it's cold as fuck in Sweden right now. I'm pretty sure it's like.
I'll wait till Chase puts his answer in, then I'll use the Google to see what it is.
So I was thinking, like, I don't know. I just feel like I always see stuff on social media, people skiing and shit, which I guess that could be up in the mountains, but.
I think Stockholm. I think all of Sweden's in the mountains.
So currently today, right now in Stockholm, Sweden, it's 35 degrees.
See?
Oh, see?
See, I put 39.
Wednesday, high of 68. Thursday, high of 66. Saturday, currently projected high. What'd you put, Chase?
39.
Currently projected high on Saturday is 36. So we'll wait and see what that's going to be.
What app are you using?
I just my fucking Apple weather app. I wanted to mix it up, take the sports out of it a little bit.
That's so fun.
You took the sports out of it and then said 66.
It's a lucky number. I don't know. It felt right.
So you want to go through the full list?
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, Jacob.
So my prediction for the Women's Amateur Open at Augusta National is 4 under. My guess for temperatures was 49 degrees Fahrenheit in Stockholm, Sweden. Total runs by MLB teams on Saturday is 104. And my total points for the 2 winning teams of the Final Four is 194.
Okay.
Damn, I was way low on a couple of these. Final score for the women's AM, I had 8 under. Highest temp. I think I'm going to be close on this one, maybe 39 degrees. Total runs, I said 72. I realized if the Yankees are playing, they're going to have 72.
30 teams are playing on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was
You
thinking.
better hammer the under to hammer the other two.
Last Saturday, the Yankees had not the Yankees, but the Yankees game was 29 runs by itself.
Yeah, I fucked up there. So
I almost
I'm
said
gonna take the L on
150
that.
runs for Saturday.
And then combined score, I think it's gonna be a little bit lower. I had 159. That's like 80 apiece. So
It's one less than 80 apiece at 79 and 80.
Yeah,
But
well,
I had -8 for the women's USAM. That's what Rose Zhang won it at. I had 66 for Stockholm, Sweden. Probably not going to be fucking close. I had 125 total runs on Saturday in the MLB. I think I'm the highest out of everyone, so I'm praying for a lot. And I think, Jacob, what was yours for the basketball score?
194.
Okay, so I think I'm dead in the middle between you guys. I was 179. I'm hoping for about the 90 points apiece to win.
my thought process on my 72 runs for the MLB is that hopefully it recycles through the starting lineup. It's back at the aces at the top of the
Can hope for like 3 perfect
starting
games.
rotation, and I'm hoping for 2-1 games here.
Yeah, there's gonna be 2 perfect games on Saturday. I'm just gonna hedge against Chase's
Perfect
predictions.
games. Put a bet on that.
Yeah,
Some
that'd
good
be-
odds there.
The odds on that gotta be crazy. I couldn't really come up with that great of a hot take for this week, so I just kind of more so had a question. And Jake and I kind of chatted about something in this kind of spectrum a little bit during this week was what grinds your gears the most on a golf course? Either in the group you're with or something that the course does.
Someone not having good pin pulling etiquette
Yeah.
and
think-
pin replacement etiquette.
I think for the most part, I just keep it in now.
No, I'm a pin puller.
Unless the flag's like leaning.
I just and the group, if we all agree on it, if I'm the closest one, I mark my ball and I pull the pin. If I'm the furthest out, I'm not marking my ball and pulling the pin. Whoever's the closest can do it.
Sure.
One of my buddies, no matter where he's at, doesn't ever pull the pin or put it back in, and he always wants it out.
Yeah, well, the person who always to me, it's always whoever putts out first grabs the pin.
Right. They pick up the pin and yeah, put it back in.
No, that's brutal. Yeah, I can imagine that.
That's not my number one hated thing. It's probably slow play, but
Yeah, I feel like outside of slow play or like having somebody up your ass, even though the people in front of you are taking a long time, something like that. I'd say mine is, I don't like when I'm like in a group with somebody, and it doesn't happen very often anymore because either I'm playing by myself or I'm playing with one of you guys or whatever. But there'd be plenty of times where like I'd be playing around and the people I'm playing with like are playing shitty and they suck and the vibes go way down and it's like not fun on the golf course anymore. That's one of my like pet peeves. It's like we're out on the golf course, we're not working, we're not like there to be serious about golf. So that's one of mine.
so like how I was bitching the other day that I hate golf, and you're like, oh no,
Yeah, I
it's Corey
said
that
a
said
bad day on the golf course is better than a good day in the office. I think that's one thing for me. Before I go into mine is I talk with you guys about it a little bit. Is it's always nice to get out with friends. Like I play with my dad most of the time, and I play with my brother, and I love playing with them. Nothing like getting out there and having some brewskis with the boys. So I missed that a little bit, especially getting the chance to play with you guys. Hopefully a little more often soon. But one thing that kind of annoys me a lot and is golf course marshals. It's a bunch of guys in their 70s who work once a week for like 6 hours to get their free golf, and they do fucking nothing. Like, people are out there playing for 5 hours and moving slow, and they never fucking do their job one time. They never challenge pace of play. They never... Like, I remember when I was younger, of either being talked to when I was playing with new people, like, hey, you got to pick up the pace or let people through, or them like challenging other people to let people through or pick up the pace. Like, it used to be a thing. Now it's just a bunch of fucking old guys sitting there doing nothing. Pisses me off, man. Like,
Yeah, I feel like the marshals have a little bit of a I don't know what it is, but I feel like I've heard a lot of stories on like the golf subreddit, or even I've had like a couple cases where because I played a lot by myself in Minnesota, where I'd go out with just some random guys, we'd get paired together to make a threesome or foursome or whatever. And I feel like they'd always target the wrong group of the slow play. Like they wouldn't target the right person that is like causing the slow play. So it's like, no, it's the group in front of us that is causing the issues. Like it's not us. So yeah, I can understand that.
and then my other kind of pet peeve or thing that annoys me the most is people kind of along the line of the bad golfers or inexperienced golfers is a ton of practice swings. I was behind someone this last weekend, or these two guys who were very clearly inexperienced golfers, where this also kind of ties in of inexperienced golfers playing tees that they shouldn't be playing, because I feel like a lot of guys have fucking egos and try and play one up from the backs because they're dudes and they should be playing there. It's like, no. When you take 6 practice swings, if you take a swing and you miss the golf ball, you should be playing the furthest up tees you physically could be fucking playing. There's no question. If you are trying to hit the golf ball and you miss, you should not be playing anywhere but the front tees.
I'd agree.
These guys were playing one from the back. They're playing the blues, and they missed the golf ball. I'm like, this is just a fucking problem. So yeah, that's with people I play with that take a ton of practice swings, just annoy the fuck out of me. Like, if you want to take one, fine. I kind of take some half-ass ones sometimes, but like taking 3, 4, 5 practice swings, just the biggest waste of time and energy. Like, fuck.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, there's a difference between a routine and just sitting there swinging and swinging and swinging. Like, for me, my routine's probably my most set with my drives. You know, get behind the ball, I can see where I'm going and whatnot. But I don't sit there and take a bunch of practice swings. When I'm behind the ball looking at the fairway or whatever, I'll take like a half swing. But that's it, yeah. Practice swings, I wasted time and energy, like you said.
Yeah, and I think with guys at that caliber that are taking 5 or 6, you're probably wasting one of your good swings in your practice swings, and you're not. There's no like rhyme or reason behind your practice swings at that like scenario. You're just kind of swinging to swing, and then you get up to the ball and just fucking skull it or something. So I think one practice swing's fine. I 1 or 2, whatever, if they're just kind of half-assed trying to get your feel, and then you fucking just send it. So,
and then my last thing, I don't know if we've talked about it before, is I'm curious about your guys' opinion on lab putters.
You bring these up every fucking
week. We did talk about it last week. Okay. And we won't revisit it. I feel like every week I always see a couple more, and I'm like, good fucking god! I feel like I see these things everywhere. It's just every time I make the trip to the golf course on the weekend, I see like 4, 5, 6 more lab putters. I just feel like it's spreading like a disease.
It's like 7 woods. They're just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, I think I'm gonna go driving iron. That thing was fucking awesome.
No, so it's funny. After last week's episode, when you brought up lab putters, the guy in our office has one, and my boss does not. And he's a pretty good golfer. He's like a 3, handy 2 or 3. And we were talking about it. And I was like, yeah, the guy on my podcast hates lab putters. And my boss was like, yeah, doesn't matter what weapon he's got, still not going to work for him. And I was like, oh, damn. Yeah.
I mean, I
lab putter's not saving it for him. Not you, for the other guy in the office.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't. If it works for you, it works for you. I just think if people are taking it as like a gimmick to help them. I mean, I guess the center shafted putter is supposed to help keep you online. I just think
Makes
they
sense.
look ugly as piss. I just think they're ugly as fuck. That's my biggest gripe. Like the one that JJ Spawn uses, I think looks like it's from a Jimmy Neutron episode. Like I just think it's just the goofiest looking thing in the world.
But what's the difference between, like, why do you need a center shafted putter when none of your clubs are center shafted? Like, that's my idea on it.
Yeah, it just must be like that path, like the swing path of your putter.
It's
I don't know if the
supposed to
center
help you
shaft,
not miss. I don't know.
the sweet spot.
Isn't that what all putters are supposed to do?
Well, I feel like you can miss pretty easily with other ones. If it's center shafted, you really have to be offline to try and miss that one.
Yeah,
I was watching a couple guys putt this weekend, and I think it's more interesting to like try like a claw grip or like some guys do reverse, like bottom hand is the reverse. Or I saw one guy, he is a longer grip, and then he holds it all the way at the bottom of the grip, so his like it's kind of in his forearms almost, kind of like Bryson does. Ooh, garage beer. So I think it's kind of cool to see all the different grips out there and the different putting styles, and what these guys are doing.
Yeah, I'm
And
curious to
these
try
guys
out.
are on tour golfing all the time, so I'm curious to see how often they like make putter changes or change grips, or some guys are always switching out their putters and shit.
Yeah, I'm curious to try. For me, it'd be right hand low. My office that I'm in currently is big enough. I might be able to, if I can find it, bring my putting mat into there during lunch and start rolling some putts. Because normally I just eat lunch. Yeah, I just eat lunch in like 5 minutes and I kind of get back to work. But I don't know where my putting mat is actually. I think I have to find it.
No, it's funny you say that. I've like tried switching from. I just do like the normal with the thumb or the finger down putt, and I've tried switching to claw grip. I've tried switching to reverse grip just to see if I like any of them, and it just feels fucking weird. I don't like it.
The reverse does?
All of them. Claw. I don't like the claw. I don't like the reverse.
Yeah. See, I like claw, but if it's a bigger grip, like I switched back to my Scotty and I started doing like pencil grip, like my fingers down the side.
Yeah.
That felt a little better, but I wasn't putting for shit. I wasn't doing anything for shit last weekend. But I mean, the greens were slow, so it was tough for me to really get it to the hole. I played one good hole of golf. I had a 3 hybrid on this weird par 5. Well, I wouldn't say it's a weird par 5. It's a very target par 5. 3 hybrid dead center. Then I hit a good layup shot, and I hit a 7-iron to like 12 feet, like a low flighted 7-iron. Hit and spun like 12 feet, and I just missed the birdie putt. That'd be the one real, I'd say my best golf hole of the day. I played that last weekend. But yeah, claw feels good, but maybe I just don't know if I'll put a bigger grip on my Scotty than what I have on there now.
You can't take the Scotty grip off.
I did. It was a really hard process of actually taking the Scotty grip off. But it's really small.
That's a crime.
I know. And on my Ping, I had the old Ping grip on it too with the letters, the PING with the golf guy. Yeah.
You took that one off too?
I took that one off too. I know.
The golf gods are looking down upon you.
I know.
No wonder you played like shit last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
But
of that.
the grip I have on my Ping I really like, and I was putting it was funny. I was putting so fucking well with my Ping, and then I got a Scotty for my birthday, and I'm like, well, I can't not use the Scotty. But my Ping is like 37-inch shaft, like it's like 3 or 4 inches longer than my Scotty.
What'd you put on it? What grip?
I have on the Scotty, it's a white and like silver Super Stroke. It's like maybe this big, like it's small.
Do you know what point? Like a 1.0, 2.0?
1.0.
1.0. Okay.
I think I have a 2.0 or 2.5 on my Ping.
Because I just put the 2.0 pistol grip on mine, and I really like it. From going from the 5.0 to the 2.0.
Yeah, I have on my Odyssey putter, it's not even Super Stroke. It's like it goes small at the bottom, then larger to the top, but it's flat on the front. It's perfect for claw grip. But that putter is so old. I bought that in like 2009, and the grip is so faded. But I haven't used that putter in a very long time.
Nice. You guys got any big plans for the weekend?
I'm gonna take a trip back to that course from last weekend. I think for the bang for the buck for what the membership can get me, it's like the best I can do kind of in this area for right now, unless I want to drop a few bands on initiation fee, and I do not want to do that. So just gonna kind of see what the thought was. I mean, I like the layout. The greens were just in really shit condition.
One day you'll find a bunker links.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever find links golf in Texas. So
Bunker links isn't links golf.
it's flat and it's open.
There's more trouble than you give credit to.
That's true, but no, that's kind of my plan.
There's OB on 1, 2, 3, 4, water on 5.
OB on 1 is not in play.
If you slice if a right-handed player slices the drive, it's in play.
But it's like only OB to like 180 yards out, 200 yards out. Past that, you're on the tee box. No.
Isn't there tall grass to the right?
There
all the
is,
way
but
down?
I thought it was only like 200 yards.
If you hit to the tee box and you're to the right, you're gonna go in that creek.
That's way right. If you're that far right, then you should be out of bounds.
A slice.
I guess. I mean, two is pretty fair. 3 is fair. 4.
The tee box is right next to out of bounds. You have to hit it left to.
I guess 5. There's nothing. I mean, there's the water.
There's water in front of the green. 6 is a pretty simple par 5, but it's got tall grass to the right. But you should be fine.
The driving
range.
It's not in play.
It is for me. It is
7. On 7, it is.
7. There's the cornfield.
No, 7's got the driving range.
7's driving range. 8's cornfield.
8's cornfield on the right, driving range on the left.
That driving range is not
driving
in
range
play.
on the
left is my miss, and the driving range is not in play.
And it is if you hit it over the net. They have a net there to keep you in.
That's got to be like you started on the left side of the fairway, and it's going way left.
No, I've hit it into the damn net.
I'm pretty sure I've hit it into the net there.
It's tighter than you think it is. You make it sound like I'm just playing in a fucking corn pasture.
No,
Hole 16, I'm in the fucking cornfield every goddamn time.
Yeah, that was tough for me too because the tee box is tucked. You have to play it left to right. That I can't play my driver left to right. I can play a 3-wood or a hybrid left to right. I just can't play driver left to right. That one's
18. I'm in the, and then 18. I'm in the fucking.
10's the dog leg left that Corey and I won like $400 on.
You're welcome.
Yep. 11, there's no trouble. 12, no trouble.
Well, 12, there's if you go really left.
No, that's
13. That's 13. 12's the par 3.
12's the par 3. 13, there's trouble left.
That's
14, there's trouble left.
Yeah.
15, there's water. 16, that's the cornfield on the left. 17, there's the cornfield on the left, but you really gotta.
That's a par 3.
Get it left.
If you're in the corn, if you're worrying about the cornfields of the left on 17, it's.
The club championship hit it in there a few years ago.
Jesus.
18 on the driving range fucks me bad too.
To be fair, it's a 200-yard par 4 or par 3, so some people can't hit an iron that far.
For me, the tough tee shots are 8 and 16. I think are the 2 toughest tee shots.
8's probably pretty tight. 16, yeah, especially if you're playing from the tips, being a lefty. But yeah, you feel right.
I think those are the 2 toughest ones at bunker.
2 can be tricky, especially if you don't play 1 well, because there's tall grass to the left and the cornfield on the right on 2.
Yeah, because if you fly it too far, you'll be in the shit on the left.
Yeah,
that's fair. 2 can be iffy.
Yeah. Other than that, you should be all right. How about you just do this, hit a fairway, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, true.
Take out your 3 hybrid, poke her down there.
Yeah. So golfing this weekend for you? I don't think I'm doing any golfing this weekend.
I think you motivated
it's supposed to rain
me to get
6 days in a row.
My certification for umping or reffing for hockey. Hockey season's done, but I think I'm gonna maybe go see if I can pass my test and go ump some baseball games.
Do it. It's pretty fun. Got my first varsity game behind the dish.
Yeah, how'd it go? How'd the
behind the plate
go?
It went pretty well. The JV game went easy peasy, but then I did the varsity game the next day, and Knoxville. So Knoxville played Rova. Rova's kind of like Porta Chase. It's 5 different towns put together, and Rova's pretty good. They ended up winning in the 5th inning with a walk-off home run, but the walk-off was to put them at 10 runs.
Oh,
So, yeah. But it was Knoxville's getting their fucking break speed off 8-0, and the coach was yelling at me for the strike zone, and I'm like, dude, it's not my fault that you're getting your ass kicked. So, but no, it was fun. It's a lot of fun being back there.
Yeah, I didn't really think about the coaches as much. Was there any fan heckling? Because I know that fucking varsity baseball gets pretty bad with some.
Yeah, no, I didn't hear
travel
anything.
ball okay.
You're right. No, I didn't hear anything from the fans. Just the one coach got all pissy, and then I took my first foul ball almost to the face. I moved just in time. It like grazed the side of my mask. And then for the JV game, because on Saturday I had a varsity game and then a JV game. So the varsity game I did behind the dish. JV game I did out in the field. And I was standing between first and second, like in the grass. This lefty ropes a ball right at me. And I'm like, all right, give it a second, see which way it's going to tail. And I'm waiting, and it doesn't start tailing. So I spin. No. I was going to spin like this way and try to get out of the way, and then it starts tailing. So I'm like going this way, and I'm like, oh shit, I had to go this way, and it just barely missed me. And the second baseman made a play on it, got the guy out, and he's like, damn, Blue, you almost got smoked. I was like, yeah, I almost did. But no, it's actually been a lot of fun. It might be my favorite sport, honestly.
Oh,
that's
nice.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So.
But that's about it for me, fellas.
Chase, you gonna hit the range before we play?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to the range or do something. You know, I've been itching to get out there. So it's supposed to. I was looking at the forecast because I wanted to get out this week, but I've got 80% chance of rain from Wednesday through Sunday.
So you better go on Tuesday.
Yeah, something like that.
It was only supposed to be like it was only 46 today, and I played, so no excuses.
That's true. What week? What day? 19th? Something like that.
What?
What day you're coming? The 19th?
I don't know. Sure. Good Friday. Well, we're coming
18th.
Thursday, but
18th. Yeah, I've got time. I've got time to.
We'll be there.
Session.
We'll be there the 17th. We're playing on the 18th. Yeah. So, all right.
All right, fellas.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys. Good talking to you.
Cheers.